It looks like everything's working okay, which is good. Let's see.
Marvelous.
I mean, I just got home, so
So how was work today?
it was pretty bad.
What happened or didn't happen? Or what should have happened that didn't happen?
All right, there we go. Just making sure the stream audio is working, and that's good. um, but yeah, so I guess we can start with I guess we can start with like what were the best things that happened when Trump was in office for or 2016 to 2020 before Biden took over. We can start with that.
The border wall,
Yes, absolutely.
the economy.
Yep.
God, there's a myriad of things that,
Right.
and I just went over them, and I can't remember where I should have written them down. Um, I think that we're going to see Republicans take over the Senate as well, which is a good thing because right now, under the clown car administration, the the Senate hasn't really done anything as far as um, um, being anything conducive to the American people for economics, prices, everything
Right.
has gone down the drain.
Yeah.
So there is a man I just watched, I can't remember his name, on Instagram, and he said, "We are going to fix this shit." And then this gal came on, and she was a smartass and said, "So you're going to deport all of these illegal immigrants and separate their families?" And he said, "Well, guess what? They can go with them.
Yeah.
They can all go together,
Mm-hmm.
so they won't be separated."
Right.
So I left a comment saying, "What will you have me do? I'm in. I'm
Right.
ready. I need work anyway. Keep me busy. Something lucrative to the American people. Whatever I can do. So I'm all
Right.
for it."
Exactly. One thing that I was really happy for when Trump was in office was those what was it? Those stimulus checks coming in when COVID hit. I don't know if you got one of those back in the day.
What was that? I'm sorry.
I don't know if you got any of those stimulus checks when COVID hit.
No, I didn't get one stimulus check.
What?
Did you?
Oh, I got like two.
You're kidding.
I don't know how I qualified for it. I don't know what the qualifications were for that back in the day.
I don't remember, but I know a lot of people did get, excuse me, a check. I didn't get a check. I didn't receive anything. In fact, I got my Social Security benefits cut in half. Yeah.
Oh shit!
So, anyone wants to argue about benefits, hell, bring it on.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I mean that's up to them. It's just, but I remember when COVID hit. Um, it was really hard on me because um, I had to wear my mask until I got vaccinated, and that took like 2 months for me to get fully vaxxed, which was annoying.
You you got vaxxed?
Yeah, I got vaxxed. I decided to get vaxxed just because so they made the rule to where if you got vaxxed, you wouldn't have to wear the mask after you got the amount that you were required to get.
And you still had to wear the mask.
No, I didn't.
Oh,
Once they made that mandate, I was able to not wear the mask once they announced that.
but still, but people still got sick.
That is true. And for some reason, I didn't catch it. I don't know how I didn't catch it. So,
How many? You had one vaccine, and how many boosters?
it was a two-part because I got the Pfizer, which was 2, and then I had 1 booster, so I had 3 shots.
Wow. So you were afraid of getting sick?
I was, yeah. And for some reason, even though I got the 3, I did not get sick at all. But I remember someone else I knew, he got the 2 shots and the booster, and he still caught it.
Yeah. Yeah, and they came up with this: if you love your neighbor, you will get vaccinated and wear a mask. So it's the first virus I've ever heard of throughout time that
Right.
sees the arrows on the floor in the supermarket and God knows where else.
Right.
It says 6 feet. Other arrows say go just one way down the aisle in the supermarket.
Right.
It's the only virus that knows if you're going the wrong way down the aisle or 6 feet or closer to another human. It just doesn't make any sense.
Right. Exactly.
So I thought about all that, and I wore a mask for 3 weeks, and then I took it off. I thought, I'm going to see what happens when I take it off. Nothing happened. So I stopped wearing it. And people were wearing masks in their cars.
Right.
And everywhere else. In the restaurant, you go to a restaurant, people were wearing the mask. They come and sit down, take the mask off.
Right.
So the virus wasn't at the table, but it was in the aisles at the restaurant.
Yeah.
Makes sense, huh?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then they'd put the mask on after they ate and breathe their food breath. I mean, just what?
What in the world?
It's disgusting.
Yeah. But at first, back in 2016, I figured I had no clue who was going to win because I was watching it and I was like, oh, Trump lost. And then all the next day I knew he won. I was like, what? That confused the fuck out of me.
Why did they say Trump lost?
I don't know. I just don't remember. It was like so long ago because like he was running against Hillary.
Oh yeah, Hillary.
Yeah,
she was another one that laughed a lot too.
Yeah.
I put the two together. I think I sent you that video. I don't know.
Yeah, I think he did.
But it was hilarious. And then there was one where she was in an interview and people were standing there and she had her cup of coffee or whatever it was. Mm-hmm. And someone asked her about the coffee and her head started going like this and she was, I was like, it must be the malfunction of the chip in her or something. I don't know.
Right. Yeah, and that's the when I was watching this latest one with Kamala, I was like, there's no way Kamala's gonna win because Kamala is like pulling all this bullshit, trying to do all this random bullshit just to win, and it wasn't gonna work. I don't know if you remember that.
Oh yeah. Too much word salad, too much of what are we going to do about the lids? Starbucks because my lipstick's all over them. Today was yesterday is today, so live today, tomorrow as today, whatever. All this crap. I mean, if you got half a brain, you ought to know better, But I just saw on Instagram where Kamala is serving McDonald's through the drive-through window.
Oh shit! Did that actually happen, or was that somebody impersonating Kamala?
It looked just like Kamala, and
Jesus Christ!
It wasn't a video; it was just a pic of her putting food through the window and a driver there taking the food from her. But it wasn't a video. So I don't know what's going on with that.
Yeah, we all know Trump was the one that actually went in there and actually did the fries and worked the drive-through for like, was it an hour?
I think it was 2 hour shift.
Oh yeah, it was 2 hours before he went to that. It was like in the same city. It was like almost in the same city where he had his rally, like the same day.
Yeah. Can you imagine being an employee and having Trump there with you? And working at McDonald's, I mean, that's just that's so unheard of. But,
Right. Yeah, and that's something that I when I first heard of that, I was like, that's so legendary. Like Trump knows he wants to put America first, and that's what we need right now. We don't want people that don't put America first.
well, I'm watching these videos on Instagram.
Yep.
Where these liberals are going into apoplexy over Biden not over
Yep.
Biden deserting them. One guy has Kamala
Oh.
written on his forehead, and he's crying, and he's banging his head against the steering wheel, and it just, and then there's another one I saw where this transgender is in a university, and she says she's a political science major, he, she, and my pronouns are he, she, he, them, or they. And the professor's standing there saying, "Get out of this university, get out of here." And she's going, "F you, F you." These people are going to go nuts. They're going. It's going to get worse.
Oh hell yeah, no doubt.
I know Trump is going to deport illegals, and I hope he deports and sends them back through the portal they came from, back to Mars or wherever it is.
Right.
Just get rid of them. The planet needs an enema.
Right. Yeah, because why would you have open borders? With why would you have open borders with all these illegals coming in who are almost all of them are criminals, and why? And they're literally taking over. They're taking over our lives. Why would you want to live with that? Like legit. Like I don't want to live that way. I'm sure you won't either.
And that's what boggles my mind. I can't understand how these people think that's going to work. These people have come in with fentanyl. How many fentanyl deaths have there been since this crap started? It's just overwhelming. The fentanyl thing, and they didn't vet any of them.
Right.
For the virus, but here we are having to get tested for virus, and people telling us, "Oh, if you love your neighbor, you'll get vaxxed." I'm like, what a bunch of crap. These people are coming in and they're getting housing, free benefits, medical care, money anywhere from $1,200 to $7,000 a month on a card, free phones. And here I am, struggling, trying to get a loan from one of these entities here online, Lending Tree and God knows what else.
Yeah.
And guess what their interest rate is? 35.29.
Are you serious?
I am serious. And guess what
wow.
the time period is that they want me to pay off $8,500? 5 years.
Oh, frick, man. That is not cool.
Yeah. So it's like Rabbi Finkelstein said in that interview with Pastor Wickstrom. We don't care about the principle. It's not the principle. It's the interest. We live off the interest. We want the interest. That's where the shekels come from.
Right.
That's exactly what it is.
Exactly.
It's a shame, and people like us who are paying in the system are getting treated like crap. And that's by design too. God, I pray for people that don't fully understand this, where it's coming from. I pray that they will open up the Bible and figure it out.
Yeah, exactly.
So Um, I was going to ask you something. I forgot what it was.
Hmm.
So anyway, these illegals have been from the border, have been bussed in. They've been put on airplanes and flown in and
Yeah.
dropped off at various and sundry airports through the United States on
Yep.
land, sea, and air, man. They're all over the country. And,
Right.
you know, some of them, what are they going to do? So I guess some of them are pillaging, breaking into people's homes,
Yep.
sleeping in their yards, you know, defecating in their lawn and peeing on their lawn. I mean, this is just not right. This stuff's got to stop.
Yeah. And speaking of which, where we live here in Colorado, up in Aurora, that they're not doing too hot, especially with all those gangs taking over those hotels or apartment complexes. Like, that's not cool, man.
Well,
It's something.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, like, something should be done about it, but we've been asking this for a long time. Why the hell hasn't the governor of Aurora, done anything? Like, legit, it just seems like he's either siding with the Democrats or he's just lazy. One of the two, or both.
What governor is this, bro?
The Aurora governor.
Oh yeah. Um, I don't know. It seems like these people, you know, they need brain surgery.
But we have a question here in the chat. It says, "Do you think Trump will do something about the crime?" Oh, absolutely. I definitely think Trump's going to do something about the crime. But I don't know. We just don't know how he's going to do it.
About the what?
About the crime rate.
Oh
in the
yeah,
U.S.
he said he was definitely going to do something about it. These people have let this go. They've defunded the EMTs. They have defunded the sheriffs. They have defunded the firemen. They have defunded the local police.
Yep.
And then throughout this year, just this year and a half, even 2 years, I'm getting phone calls from third parties to asking me money for, this is the pack for the fire chiefs and the firefighters and the EMTs. Every day it's a different one. It's the cancer pack,
Yeah.
And I told the people calling for cancer, I said, why don't you talk to the elite and tell them to stop spraying us with the geoengineering they're spraying on us. That's what's causing a lot of the problems.
Yeah.
And it falls down to earth. It falls down the plants we eat, the food we eat, the water we drink. It's ridiculous. So yeah, Trump is definitely going to do something about the crime. I saw something on the internet where he is going to, and he was talking. I saw him on the internet, and he said that he is going to fund these entities that I just mentioned, and get the police force back, get our military back in line, everything. He's said everything all the way across the board.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's going to definitely do something about it.
Oh yeah.
And
it's probably going to take a while, but it is going to happen.
well, it has to, because the world cannot go on like this. This is total chaos.
Absolutely.
So
yeah. But yeah, and that's the thing is, like, like, I don't support defund first responders. I think they're crucial. Why would you not want first responders at all? I just don't understand that logic.
Well, the EMTs, it's critical to our livelihood. The police, it's critical for our defense. Why was it defunded? Why did the Biden administration defund this? And then they're calling on the phone, and they're a third party. We're calling from the EMT pack, this pack, that pack. Donate this much money. Can you do this today? So I asked him, I said, who did you vote for? well, sir, Mr. Bardwell, your fire department's right around the corner. I said, I know where the fire department is. I'm asking you a question and you're not answering it. And then they hang up. So, guess what? Third party, um, more hired thugs to put more shekels in their pocket, I'm assuming.
Right.
Yeah. So, yeah, Trump is definitely going to do something about all of this stuff, this crap that has been taken down by the Biden administration, because the first day Biden was in office, he took out everything that Trump had signed into law. He removed it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly. And my best friend is here in the chat, and she said that I don't support defunding first responders either. That's one of the reasons why I gave $10 to the chief of the KPD. I think that's fair. We want to. She's just like me. She wants the KPD to succeed. The Kingsburg Police Department up here. So.
What's her name?
It's Stella.
Stella.
Yeah.
She lives in Kingsburg?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. So, yeah, she, like she said, she doesn't support defunding.
Well, look where it's gotten us. Look at the crime rate in this nation alone.
Yeah.
Has risen dramatically. And and you can tell that law enforcement has been devalued just by the way people drive. 35-mile-an-hour speed zone and people are doing 50. That's just one example.
Right.
So where there's no law enforcement, people take things into their own hands, and it's dangerous.
Yeah.
So all this needs to be funded and put back into place.
Right.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
Trump is going to do that. I know he will.
Oh yeah, there's no doubt. But he also said in his rallies, like, he's gonna take care of he's gonna get rid of inflation. That would help a ton, because we're getting ruined by it like every day. And he's also gonna get rid of what is it? Tax on overtime. I think he said. I think that was one of them. And tax on tips. Because tax on tips and overtime doesn't make any sense.
Well, of course not. It's absurd.
And
You go ahead.
Oh yeah, I was also gonna say, he's gonna make sure there's no crazy wars going on like in the Middle East, like there is in Israel right now.
Yeah, and we have how many billions of dollars have we sent to keep the war in Ukraine going?
I think probably like 2-3 billion, maybe higher.
And we could have had that money here to help the homeless,
to
feed them, to put them in rehab if they want to go there.
Yep.
The mental ill facilities have been all defunded and they're wasted away. Mm-hmm. When I go to the library here in town, the mentally ill is in the library. Mm-hmm. And I don't really care, I feel for them. Mm-hmm. But there's a place for everything and everything in its place. Why that was defunded and taken away, I don't know. Those people were being cared for by nurses or doctors or whatever, and now they're just like kind of on their own.
Right.
It's pathetic. So what is this with the new world currency? You and I were talking about it a few weeks ago. I think I know that a lot of people have already received the chip in their right hand, and now they're saying they're putting it in their wrist. Doesn't make sense. So it's contradiction over and over again.
Yeah.
But the this is what we were talking about a few weeks ago, and I asked you what it was, an acronym, and I asked you what it was, and you told me, but I couldn't remember. So that's coming. That's coming too.
Oh yeah.
So people should be aware of this. Even though Trump is in office, there's the good demons and the bad demons.
Yep.
And the bad demons want to take over the planet.
Yep.
So my suggestion is to, if you haven't read the Bible, to read it. It tells you what has happened, what's happening now, and what's going to happen very shortly.
Absolutely.
So we support Trump because God has put him in a place for such a time as this.
Yep.
The man knows what he's doing. He's a businessman also. And you can say he's a criminal all you want. That's fine. None of us are perfect.
No.
Including myself. So we all make mistakes.
Yep.
This man is the only man that is going to give us a little more time, I believe.
Yeah.
So I don't know what your feelings are on that, but
I mean, I totally agree. It just seems like, it's gonna, with everything that's going on with him, he's had, I think, 4 assassination attempts now. I heard of one recently.
really?
Yeah, it was I think it got I don't remember what it was about, but I saw a YouTube title about it, but I didn't listen to it completely. But I think it was since he's had 4 now, but when he had the third one that was foiled, he's now given the full protection package from the Secret Service, which, let's be honest, the Secret Service did fail the first time in Butler, where he was hit behind the ear. I think he was hit behind the ear, I believe. But ever since that time, I feel like they still did it. They still didn't do their job correctly.
Did not do their job correctly?
I feel after the first one.
Yeah. So
Because they didn't they let the guy on the first one. You remember they let the guy go on the roof where he was setting up his sniper to take the shot. But why would they let him when he literally has a rifle in his hands?
yeah. So the guy had to climb up the roof on a ladder.
Right.
What was the ladder doing on the side of the building? Why did they someone saw him up there? People saw him up there.
Right.
So, you have to wonder if that was staged, or they just didn't care or weren't doing their job. I mean, which one? How can you tell? Anything at this point would be mere conjecture. But I think that the Lord in heaven let this happen for 4 years for a reason, so people can see how bad this can really get. And guess what? Look what's happening now. A lot of people, Latinos, blacks, a lot of people are waking up and voted for Trump.
Indeed, that is true.
So I think that everything is in the Lord's hands, and in just my opinion, Trump is not going to be around forever. We know that.
No.
So what is the contingency when Trump is gone?
It's possible, JD Vance could run, and he could possibly win it. He's also a good candidate because he has the same principles as Trump does. I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah, I agree.
So, but I just don't know how another Democrat could, win in the next 4 years after Trump leaves office. and then does it screw it up again? You know what I
Well,
mean?
you know how things seesaw back and forth.
Right.
With Bush when he was in office,
Mhm.
during his administration, then everyone hated Bush and voted for Obama.
Mhm.
Okay. So people got sick of Obama for 8 years and then they voted for Trump.
Mhm.
And they didn't want to vote for Trump then either. Well, then they got sick of that and they went back and voted for Biden.
Right.
So in 4 more years, if there is another 4 years,
Mhm.
is it going to seesaw again? That people forget. We need to remember that this nation was founded on biblical principles.
Right.
And if we don't follow the principles God has set forth
Mhm.
and pray, and
Mhm.
it says, the nation that gets on his knees and prays, the Lord will restore that nation.
Yep.
So during 9/11,
Mhm.
for 3 or 4 days, people got on their knees and prayed and went to church buildings and prayed. And then after 4 or 5 days later, it stopped. So it seesaws. And that's just kind of bothers me. So you don't know what actually goes through people's minds,
Yeah.
what they're thinking. I think people get bored, and I don't know if they're looking for excitement or danger or what, but we've had a lot of excitement for the past 4 years.
Yeah.
So, your thoughts?
I mean, I definitely agree with that. I agree with that 100%. You know. Uh, oh, we got another question here. What is your opinion about the rent increase? Huh,
Rent,
interesting. The
rent
rent,
increase?
yeah. Because rent has gone up in the past, but under Biden and Harris. So
As everything else has done. And my opinion is that this is all coming from a source, and it's not a good source. Um,
right,
I have been out of my house since April, due to insolvency, um, and various other things that have happened. Since April, I have been looking for a room, a studio, a 1 bedroom, and it's like pulling teeth.
yeah,
They want numbers. They want to know your background and everything, and I get it, because today's world is just I can't explain it. So since April, I've been looking for a place. To find a studio or a 1 bedroom is unbelievable. It is so outrageously expensive.
yeah,
And I'm still in a motel. I was paying $112 a night, and now it's been reduced to 91. So I'm going through my bank account and my savings just to pay rent, to have a roof over my head, in addition to my bills. My co-pays at the hospital are exceeding and abundant.
right.
So yeah, my opinion is that it is coming from a source to take us down.
I
Uh,
agree with that.
yeah, they want their I don't know who's calling or texted the message, but there's more people out on the street now than I've ever seen in my life. And I've seen people on the internet, a young lady crying, her and her
Mhm.
boyfriend can't afford the rent anymore. He's in school, she's working full time to support.
Mhm.
They can't afford the insurance on their car anymore. They can't afford the rent on the apartment. And the rent was almost $1,400 a month plus utilities. So utilities weren't being paid. They had to pay that. pay for their car insurance, pay for the automobile, pay for the car, and try to
Yep.
buy food. So she was crying because they had to move out and they didn't know where they were going to go.
Right.
So there's a lot of people out on the street. If you look in California and these places, every once in a while I see a video that someone has taken in California. It looks like a third world country. I've never seen anything like this in my life.
Mm.
It's appalling. So
Right.
my opinion is that it is coming from a source, which is the elite. And like I said, if you haven't read the Bible, read it because it tells you where this stuff is coming from.
Right.
If you have read the Bible, it tells you that Noah built an ark. There was a flood. The flood came, and there was a reason why the flood came, because the evil on the planet was so bad.
Right.
Because these Nephilim came down and wanted to have relations with these women. So the DNA was discombobulated.
Right.
And the Lord said, okay, that's enough. So it took Noah 100 years to build an ark that the Lord wanted him to build. So
Right.
it was Noah and his family, 8 people, that survived the flood. Everyone else perished. So
Right.
when the Nephilim perished, their souls left their body, but they didn't go to hell and they didn't go to heaven. They are here on this planet as demons.
Yep.
So there's a lot in there that's hard to digest, but if you read it, go to a pastor, call a church, ask someone to explain it to you. You can contact us, we'll explain it to you, because this is what's going on.
Yeah.
It says that Satan is the prince of the power of the air, the mid-heavens. So that is my very strong opinion, that these people are wanting to take us down.
Yep.
You can Google this stuff online. FEMA camps, FEMA boxcars with shackles. It's unbelievable. All these camps from World War II have been converted into FEMA camps. Big box stores, Walmart, some of the Walmarts, some of the Sam's Clubs have been converted into FEMA camps. I saw some that had barbed wire all the way around them, around the parking lot. And before that happened, there were people going in with their cell phones that heard about it. And when they walked in, the store was empty and people came up to them, these big women with guard belts on and everything, and said, "What are you doing in here? Get out of here. Get your phone, turn your phone off. You can't do a video in here." So something's definitely going on with that.
Absolutely.
I know this sounds pretty harsh, but Google, I don't know what it is. I can't remember now, but there are facilities where they have stored robots, guillotines, and I'm just saying this for y'all's own good. This is not good. Hopefully, we can go a little further and ask the Lord for wisdom, because that's where it's going to come from, and get close to Jesus.
Yep. I agree. And my thoughts on the rent increase, well, I remember when I was in New Mexico, I was working in fast food. Not fun, by the way.
Whereabouts in Mexico were you?
I was in Albuquerque.
Oh, New Mexico.
Yeah, New Mexico. Yeah. And I was living in this complex where it was based on your income. The rent was based on your income, like how much you earn per week or every 2 weeks or something like that. And I know when I kept earning more, the rent went up, and I was like, "What is this?" It doesn't make any sense.
So the longer you stayed there, the more the rent increased?
No, it was when I kept earning more, when my earnings kept going up,
Oh, then your rent
uh,
increased.
it would it would increase, yeah,
Yeah.
and that really set me back, uh, set me back every time because I got paid every 2 weeks, and it would just set me back so bad that I would have to literally budget until the next one, you know.
Wow. Um, do you know, our friend Michael told me about this in another town here close by where they
Right.
go by your income.
Mhm.
And I'm just wondering if you just pay rent or you pay rent and utilities, because most places will charge you rent, your first month's rent, and a deposit,
Mhm.
and utilities. So by the time you're done, you've spent about $2,500 in the first month. Um, and then what do you have left for gas and groceries?
Yeah.
And then you got to pay utilities. It's outrageous.
Yeah, it's bad, you know.
So my thought is, at this point, um, I'm getting tired of looking for a place to rent that's feasible, that works with my budget,
Mhm.
and it's impossible to find.
Yeah.
So I don't know if this person is looking for a place to rent. Um, the only thing I can recommend is keep trying. That's what I'm doing on the internet looking, which
Mhm.
is complicated because it used to be you could just go into an office at an apartment complex
Mhm.
and tell them you want to rent their building, look at an apartment, and you look at it and you go in the office and you fill out an application and boom, you're in an apartment. Now it's like they have to go through these hoops and jump these hurdles, and then you have to wait.
Right.
And the last apartment complex I went to, and this is a lot of them now. They don't have one bedroom that's available. It's all two bedrooms now. Mostly,
What?
yes, it's two bedrooms. There's an apartment complex here where I live. I said, what's the rent on the one bedroom? And she said, well, there are no one bedrooms. You have to rent a two bedroom. So naturally, it increases the rent by at least $200 or $300.
Jesus.
So that's another reason why, and if I find a roommate, that's fine. Um, Finding a roommate these days is like, I don't know, it's crazy because it seems like, a lot of
Right.
people are just doing
Yeah.
their own thing and they
Yeah, I
don't
mean,
pick up after themselves. I mean, I see it in the bathrooms at work. People go in the bathrooms and there's, urine on the floor, there's toilet paper on the floor. The lavatories are dirty. I mean, it's just crazy.
yeah.
I don't
I
want
mean,
someone like that living with me.
no.
I don't
Yeah.
want to go into a bathroom. I'm paying rent for 12, $1,500 a month, and some dude has gone in there and pissed on the floor because he didn't stand close enough to the toilet. It's just crazy.
That is crazy. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's just, I agree. It's like, a lot of the time um it is hard to find a place, with these crazy prices. And it's a lot of the time for some people it's hard to even, get a house because the house payments are too high or the asking price to buy it outright is just too much,
Yeah. So when I listened to this interview with Pastor Wickstrom and Rabbi,
But yeah.
he was talking about they the demons refer to us as the goyim, the human cattle.
Hmm.
And their thing is, you can't afford it, so we give you a loan. Uh,
Mm.
you can fill out an application for a loan because we know you can't afford it, and we're going to charge you for the loan, and we're going to charge you interest because that's where we make the shekels. We don't care about the principal. And so he goes on to say that it is conducive for them to continue down the road they're going, to destroy this country. And he even admitted it. He said, we're tired of America. He said, we've made all the money here we can make. Now we're going somewhere else. You can't get blood out of a stone. So we're going to do something else now. So you wonder when you see all this going on, you know, and now it's on a global scale.
Right.
It's just crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do about the rental situation because I know myself since April that it's really hard to find a place.
Oh yeah.
It's also hard to find a roommate. Everyone seems like they've gotten so particular about who they want to room with, and I get that.
Yeah.
You know, you've got to like the person you're rooming with. I mean, you're under one roof together.
Right.
But when it gets to the point where they don't like the clothes you wear, or you're wearing boots or a cowboy hat or something, I don't know. It's just I can't deal with it.
Right.
You know, these women I meet on Instagram, it's baffling. I'll say, what's happening? And they go, what do you mean what's happening? Where are you coming from? And I'm like, okay, never mind. I won't talk to you anymore. You're scaring me. And I told that to one gal, you know, and she said, I don't get you. And I said, well, I don't get you either. I said, I think it's time we just disconnected here. So you can't communicate with people anymore. It's just absurd. It's really absurd.
Yeah.
Well, I'm hoping that this administration will continue to wake people up. That's my biggest hope for the population of this earth.
Absolutely.
The things are pretty bad. I don't know if they're going to improve. Trump, one man, says he's going to take care of all this. I don't know how he can, but with the power of the Holy Spirit in him, or God in him, then yeah, he can probably work miracles through Trump. So we'll pray for that.
Yeah. But, you know, one of the things I wanted to talk about tonight is, you know, how do you think the entertainment industry is going to change over these next 4 years? Because let's be honest, you know, a lot of these movies and shows that have come out over this time with this administration, a lot has not done. Like, you know, let's say, for example, let's see, the latest Joker, that bombed hard. I heard today that's going to lose 200 million because
what's the name of the flick?
It's what is it? It's the sequel to the first Joker. I don't remember the
Batman.
No, Joker. It's just
Joker. Okay.
Yeah, the first Joker movie was really good, but they released the second one this year, and it's not doing well. It's only made 200 million. It's already being pulled out of theaters, so it's already going to lose like $200 million.
Wow. That is a good question, and I was in the entertainment industry for a short period of time in the 90s. And when I found out what I had to do, I turned around and ran the other way. and a lot of these celebrities are coming out with, abuse, of course. A lot of them are dying, accidental deaths, heart attacks. My car accidentally ran off the road on Mulholland Drive. Excuse me. Too many deaths. They're dropping dead on the soccer field, the football field.
Right.
It's absurd.
Yeah.
When I was doing extras work and modeling, it was fun, but I wanted to go further with it, and I kept asking the leads on the set of movies we were doing, and they said, just keep practicing your trade, just keep contacting people, and maybe someone will see you and like you. And someone did. We were filming Asteroids, and one of the places we filmed was in Longmont on a highway. So all of our vehicles were on the highway trying to leave town. And I got out of the truck and was walking towards one of the tents and one of the food carts. And these guys were standing there with the producer and the director, and they said, "Hey, who are you?" I said, "Oh, my name's Matt." "Well, what are you doing here?" I said, "Oh, I'm just an extra." And they said, "Well, you should be a lead actor." And I'm like, wow. So I went over and talked to him, met the director and of the film, and didn't really talk that much because, I was kind of like, okay, what's going on here?
Yeah.
But the entertainment industry is a dichotomy in and of itself entirely altogether. I won't go there. A lot of celebrities have come forward with what they had to do to become a celebrity, to be rich and famous. You can look it up yourself. I'm not going to mention it. I'm glad I am where I am. Financially, I'm in a bad state, but spiritually, I'm rich. So that's a good thing.
Well, the good thing is that you're still hanging on, which is a good thing. That's all we can do in this day and age until Trump is in office.
Yeah, that helps. I know that the Lord loves us so much; He's given us more time.
Yeah, and
more time.
And as a Mormon, it I know that our God, he's always watching over us, and if we if we ever have an issue we need to deal with, we need help with, we just sit down and pray to him
and pray to God. Yes,
exactly. And the thing is, he may not answer your prayers right away. Sometimes it will take time, but he will answer your prayers.
And that's true, because sometimes he doesn't answer at all. Sometimes he says, wait. And sometimes he answers right away and says no. So I saw something on the internet yesterday, and there was an elderly woman sitting on a bench up against the wall of a building. And there was a young guy about 20 feet away from her eating something, leaning against a column or a pole or something.
Yeah.
And she looked at him like, "Will you help me get my cane?" It went out. It fell down, and it went. So it fell down, and it went about 20 feet from her. And he looked at her like, "I'm not going to pick that up." So the Lord was saying no. So she got up to get her stick, and when she got up, something fell from one of the windows in the building upstairs and came crashing down right where she was sitting. So that's a good example of the Lord saying no. Because if she had sat there and the guy brought the stick to her, she'd have been dead. That's crazy.
That is crazy.
Lord works in mysterious ways. I trust him. I was in debt from a business I owned, and the revenue stopped coming in, so I used credit cards.
Mhm.
And then the credit card debt was like accumulating rapidly. I mean, I
Mhm.
was paying bills with it, I was paying my business with it, everything. And then I decided to cut it off. So I got down on my knees and prayed. I said, Lord, I'm in debt. How am I going to do this? Only you
Mhm.
can help me. And I kept praying, I kept praying, I kept praying. So January rolled around and I went to my tax advisor and to do my taxes. And she was sitting there and she was talking to me and
Right.
talking to her. And I said, look, I'm in debt. I'm in a lot of debt. And she goes, oh, and she looks at the
Right.
screen and she turns her screen towards me and she goes, look at that. You're not in debt. So I looked at the screen, I about fell out of the chair. There was no debt on the screen from my creditors.
What? Oh wow.
I'm not kidding.
That's
I
crazy.
started crying. I started thanking God right away because I thought this has got to be divine intervention. There's no way that debt got paid off by some person. Well, maybe some person did, but it was through the intervention of God.
And
And
they it wasn't
she
you.
said, yeah. So she said, "You're not in debt. Let's go ahead and do your taxes." Blah blah blah. So we did, and I went home with a big smile on my face. I could not believe it.
That's insane.
And then I even called my creditors. I said, "How much do I owe you?" It's all been paid off. And they screamed at me just to make sure, I wasn't hearing things or seeing things,
That's
So the
crazy.
Lord works miracles. He does.
He
He
does.
intercedes for you. All you have to do is get on your knees and repent and accept Him as your Lord and Savior, um, and say, Jesus is Lord, King of Kings and Lord of Lords. Um, he'll work for you.
Absolutely.
Sometimes not right away, but sometimes right away.
Yep.
So
Absolutely.
I just wanted to share that with you.
No, that's a really good I really like that. That's a really good story.
Yeah,
So,
it's awesome.
but and I mean do you honestly think that once Trump is officially in office that the entertainment industry is going to change in some way for the better?
Uh, I would like to think that it would,
Mm-hmm.
knowing what I know about it.
Uh-huh.
Um, I would venture to say no.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the A lot of the stuff you see and hear, even the music, uh, like some of the music we hear at work, is just absolutely horrible. Um, one of the songs or one of the vibes that this guy listens to, uh, the lyrics go, "When the darkness comes, la 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 la, when the dark," and he's singing to it, and I'm like, dude, when the darkness comes, you're gonna wish you never heard this song.
Exactly.
So it's vibes like that these people listen to anymore, and it's men screaming their lungs out, women screaming their lungs out. I hate you, I hate you, you hate me. I mean, what? It's just more predicted programming going on, and the more you
Right.
listen to it, the more you're programmed with it, and the more you believe what you're listening to, and you go out and you act on it.
Yeah. I mean, let's face it. Like Disney, for example, is like I think around 2 billion in the hole because of all their losses they had, you know. And I think like their biggest flop was what was it? Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. That you wouldn't believe me if I say that movie lost about 3 to 400 million dollars because it did not do that well at all, like literally. And the thing is, it was set up to where Harrison Ford who plays Indy. I don't know if you watched any Indy movies.
Yes.
Harrison Ford plays Indy. I love Harrison Ford as Indy. I mean, who doesn't? But in 5, it's to where they try to set up a woman to take over. That's not how that works. And it's just, and I like that it flopped. I just wish the movie didn't exist. I mean,
So-
some other people could agree with me.
Do you think that's more predictive programming of the women emasculating men?
In this day and age, right now, yes, because you could say that oh well, let's say like Deadpool and Wolverine was not like that. Well, yeah, obviously, because that movie is made for fans, but movies like that, not great. What else? There was a. It just seems like the only movie making company that makes movies for fans and listen to fans is Universal. 100%.
I would say yes to that. Um, MGM and a couple of others are, well, they're all kind of weird. I refer to Hollywood as Holly Weird. I have some knowledge, but I don't know. I don't know if it'll change. I don't know if he can change it because, like I said, there's good demons and bad demons. Like
Right.
on The Wizard of Oz, the good witch and the bad witch. Who was the good witch? Glenda or Linda or something. And then the bad witch was the Witch of the North?
Or the Witch of the West.
The Witch of the West.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, she could only wait to get her hands on those slippers. Those slippers will do you no good. They're no good for you. They're my slippers. So that's a lot of people today. It's mine. It's all about me, myself, and I. Like that woman that was screaming on the internet tonight. My pronouns are he, they. He, they. And then last night there was 2 women. The guy was interviewing them on the street. I am gender queer. What does that mean? Where is this stuff coming from?
Oh, sheesh.
You should have seen the way they were dressed. I mean, if people are offended by what I'm saying, so be it.
Yeah. At this point,
I pray that maybe Trump will send them on send them through a porthole back where they came from.
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous. Gender, queer.
I mean, at this point, who cares? It's literally, it is ridiculous.
So
it's just ridiculous.
I've never seen anything in my life like this.
I agree.
This gal was screaming, "I'm trans, and I am a something major, whatever. I'm 17 years old." And then she was telling the professor. He told her to get out, leave, go away, which is unusual because the professors in these universities were brainwashing people, and now they're telling them to get out. It's weird. I don't understand that. Why didn't they stand up before? Right. So anyway, he's telling her to get out, and she's going, "F you," and she's going, "Ah!" And her hands are in the air. And then this one guy sitting in his car, he has Kamala written on his forehead, and he's banging his head like this. "Ah, he deserted me." Do not attempt to grow a brain at this point. And if you do not take it out of your head and try to put it back in, because it's not going to work.
Yeah, that's funny.
So.
But yeah, and speaking of that, I remember, I don't know if you remember this, during the latest Olympics in Paris this year. What was it? It was a boxing match where a man who identified or what was it? I can't remember what it was. Where a female fighter got
Oh,
humiliated with
he
just one punch.
identified as a trans.
Exactly. And then he did the one jab, and then his opponent got humiliated and admitted defeat. And I was like, what the frick? Huh?
Oh my God.
I was like, you gotta be kidding me.
Well, you know, in the scripture, it tells us that Satan will flip everything upside down, sideways, and every other which way.
Oh yeah.
And Rabbi Finkelstein says, "You're confused. We're going to confuse you even more."
Mhm.
So Wickstrom asks him, he said, are you a race? And Finkelstein goes, well, some people say we're a race. Some people say we're Jews. You know, he has that accent. Just this guy goes on and he talks about where the meat from McDonald's comes from. He talks about how the towers came down.
Mhm.
And a lot of people, some people still think it was the terrorists. And it
Yeah.
wasn't. There's good Jews and bad Jews. The good Jews are the 12 tribes of Israel. The bad Jews are from Asia, all around the block, the
Mhm.
demons.
Yeah.
So there's a little bit of information for you.
Yeah. Well, let's see. I know we were talking about this morning. You know, what would happen? You know, you asked me this, like, what would happen when or if Trump is no longer with us? Well, you know, honestly, at this time, we don't know yet. You know,
We don't.
anything could happen.
We don't. We don't. Did you? About 20 years ago, there was a Simpsons episode.
Mhm.
And one of the segments of the episode, Trump was
Mhm.
lying there in a coffin.
What?
Yes. It was the wake where people come and visit, you know, or the funeral, one or the other.
Mhm.
And there was Trump lying there in a coffin. So everything that you have seen on The Simpsons, and
Yep.
some people won't believe this, but it's true, has come to pass.
Mhm. Damn.
Yeah. So we know that God is ultimately in control of everything.
Right.
And he's letting these people do this. He's been letting them do it for a long, long, long time, since 6,000 years. And little by little, they've done it and think, well, God didn't see that. Let's do this. God didn't see this. Let's do that. And so
Mhm.
forth and so on, you know. And respectively, it's just gotten to the point now where they think God no longer regards us. He's just left us here on planet Earth.
Right.
Not so. The Lord says, vengeance is mine, I will repay.
Mhm.
Yeah. So your hope is in the Lord Jesus Christ.
Mhm.
It
That's
is not meant for man to direct his own footsteps. As we well know, for 6,000 years, it's been topsy-turvy.
right.
Adam and Eve sinned in the garden, and they were kicked out of the garden, and then they born two children, two males. And what happened with one of them?
Oh yeah.
Cain killed Abel.
Yep.
First murder. So we're paying for that through the millennia. We're paying for Sarah and Abraham, who couldn't wait for God's promise for them to have a child, even in their old age. So Sarah went to her handmaid, I forget her name, um, Hagar, and had Hagar go into her husband. And Hagar
Yep.
got pregnant and born Ishmael. And that's what's going on in the Middle East. So we
Right.
pay for sins. This one's
Mhm.
been going on for quite some time. The all the knowledge that you need,
Mhm.
wisdom, comes from the scriptures.
Mhm.
You can look on the internet. All the things you see on the internet, most of them come from the elite to program you and brainwash you.
Mhm. Absolutely. Well, I don't know if you have anything else you wanted to like talk about tonight, but if you have anything, feel free to ask away. So, but um, but I mean, let's be honest. Trump was the best. What is the best person to save this country? 100%. You know, and Democrats don't really care about this country. They only care about themselves in a way. You know.
Well, look at what's happened over the years, especially the last 4 years.
Hmm.
Um, I refer to the Democrats as the Democrats.
Democrats.
So, um, if there's anyone out there listening or paying attention,
Yeah.
uh, this is the first time we've done this, so there's not a lot of people that know about this website yet.
Yep.
I'm sure it will increase, and I'm sure we'll have many people on here making comments and asking questions, and we would
Yep.
be more than happy to answer them.
Yeah.
If you're offended, then you're offended. I don't know what else to tell you.
Yeah.
Open your heart, open your mind to what is going on a global scale.
Yes.
All you have to do is look around you and see
Hmm.
and feel something is wrong. There was a vibe that came out in the 90s by
Hmm.
Green Day, a band called Green Day. Um,
Hmm.
the lyrics were really funny. I'm trying to remember the name of the vibe. Um, God. Oh, Idiot, Idiot America. I don't want to be an idiot American. Um, Google it.
That's funny.
If you're listening, Google it. Green Day, Idiot America, and listen to the lyrics. That came out in the early
Mhm.
90s. And, well, mid 90s, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, probably mid to latter 90s. Um, and all these, like, if you watch these movies and listen to these lyrics of these songs, it comes from a source, and they're trying to tell you something if you're actually listening and read between the lines.
Yep.
So pay attention.
Yeah. And I like this. I like this line, these four lines right here from this song from was it Chase McDaniel? I just heard this today from it's called Project. Where is it? It's right here. It says, now stop, take a look at yourself. Put that fairy tale bullshit back on the shelf. I know you like guys that you think that you can help, but I ain't gonna be a notch on your little toe belt. If you're looking for love, you ain't looking for me. If you're looking for a good time, hold my drink. We can finish this song. Let me find my keys, go home, get to working on this project. I
So
thought
true.
that was I thought that was great.
More to the point. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Yeah. But um well, I think I better call it here. But if you have any closing thoughts, go ahead and speak away.
No, I think this is our first night uh, on this program, so um, we encourage you to join us with your questions and comments. Um,
Yep.
if you're going to, if you feel like you're going to be vitriolic and hateful, then
Mhm.
don't bother, because you're wasting your time and ours. It's not going to go
Exactly.
anywhere.
Absolutely. And to end it off, I'd say, if you know, this is going to this is my channel. If there's any hateful comments or anything that come into my chat or to my comment section anywhere on my videos, I won't be offended. I will just take it and just run off. You know, that's like the best you can do if you're not an elite. You know.
Correct. So, yeah, my thought is that why waste time being hateful
Mm-hmm.
when you can learn something? And
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people, like Rabbi Finkelstein said, they don't want to learn themselves. They don't want to teach themselves. They want someone else to do it for them. Do some research. Do some research on the virus. Do some research on the geoengineering. Go and look these things up and learn for yourself. Don't just listen to what we're saying, because what we're saying is true.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't agree with it, that's fine.
Yeah.
Look it up. Educate yourself.
Yeah. And I want to end this off with, let me see if I can find it here. There's this song called "America Don't Need" by Kingery and the Prescott Boys, Dirty Prescott Boys.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can pull this up here. Trying to find the lyrics. It was like it starts with like I don't need another politician that's corrupt. I like that line. Um, a friend that stabs me in the back when they give me a hug. You know, and they touch on teaching all this stuff, all this woke stuff to kids at like kindergarten, and that's completely wrong. I think parents should decide. Excuse me, parents should decide when to do that with their kids.
And Trump is going to take care of that too.
Absolutely.
Yeah. The when Kamala kept saying, "You need to be woke. You need to be woker." I don't know where this woke culture came from, but it is upside down. It's just not
Mm-hmm.
conducive to human beings getting along with one another, working together.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, that is going to do it for us tonight. Um, feel free to, if you haven't already, please do subscribe to my channel, Elite Slayer Paul. Don't ask why I'd have that. But Matt, I appreciate you joining with me tonight. That was, I think that we had some informative topics tonight for sure, and we should definitely do this again at some point.
We will. Good night, Paul.
All right. Well, Matt, you have a good night. Everyone else that joined, have a good night. Well, take care. Catch you guys later.
Bye-bye.
Peace.